Are you learning English but find it difficult, confusing, even mysterious? Well, don't worry. On this show, I'll answer your questions about the English language and help you solve these mysteries. It's Hard-Boiled English Live. Hi everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Teacher Paul, your English instructor, host, tutor, language detective. Broadcasting to you live from the Hard-Boiled English Media Studio right here in Vancouver, Canada. Welcome, welcome everyone. On this show, I answer your questions about this crazy language. And the format is quite simple. You type in your questions and comments in the comment thread, and I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't answer your question, and that does happen, I'm not perfect, I'm not a genius, I assure you I'll do some research and get you an answer on the next week's show. So far, that's working out for everyone. I'm also the creator of the Hard-Boiled English YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please go to that channel and subscribe to it. There's lots of video content there. Namely, my flagship series that I make with my English learning students called English Weirdness. English Weirdness is a complex exploration of the confusing side of the English language. There's also a new series I'm developing called English Confidential. In this series, we examine the strange language use that native speakers use. Native speakers don't always speak perfect English, and when they don't, sometimes it affects the way language learners like yourselves pick up. And sometimes you can pick up bad habits. So you can find those both on the YouTube channel. Now tonight is a special night for obvious reasons. For those of us in Canada, it's already New Year's Eve. And for those friends of you out there, some of you guys in Asia or the Middle East or Africa, it's New Year's Day already. So we're going to use tonight to celebrate this occasion, look back at the year behind us, and look ahead at the new year, 2021. It's a good time to reflect on this. It's been a challenging year for everyone, but I want to look ahead with positivity. To help me do this, a little later I'm going to bring on some guests. One will be Anesh Daya of On the Spot Language in Toronto. It's an excellent school. He's doing fantastic things with his language learners. And later on, we'll have Valessa Rizzotto. She's a psychologist from Brazil, and she's going to talk to us about the mental health side of the pandemic year we've been through and what we should think about going forward. First of all, guys, in the comment boxes, say hello and tell me where you're watching from. What country are you in? It's really great to get a sense of where everyone is. First of all, I would like to tell you about how I feel about 2020. I began the year with an exciting visit to Japan. Every month, I teach online classes to a high school in Yamagata Prefecture in Japan in the north. The school is called Sakata Minami High School, so shout out to any of the students from Sakata there. Well, for the last couple of years, I've been giving them monthly live lessons online. Last February, however, with the cooperation of their principal and teachers, I paid a surprise visit to them, to the school in Japan. And it was really fun to see the shock on the students' faces. In fact, on the YouTube channel, you can see the full video of me arriving to the class and surprising the students. That was a highlight early on in February, and I got back to Canada just as the pandemic was striking worldwide. So I'm pretty fortunate. But that's how my year started. My school that I taught at for the last several years had to close down in March, April, and onwards because we lost all the students. They stayed home in their countries and no new students were coming in. So it was a bit of a sad time because most of our teachers, we had to leave the school for a while and at least teach online. But it gave me an opportunity. It gave me an opportunity to teach students privately, online, because a lot of them were at home too. And if, by the way, if any of you guys need private lessons, I am available for private lessons. just go to my website, www.teacherpaulsclassroom.com. You can send me an email from the website, and we can arrange a private lesson. So yeah, the shutting down of schools actually gave me an opportunity to focus more on developing my online teaching. That includes the private lessons. It also includes finishing episode number 9 of English Weirdness. I had the time to devote to it. So if you haven't seen it, go to the YouTube channel and check out episode number 9 of English Weirdness. And the poster looks like this. Episode number 10 will be coming out in February, so keep a lookout for that. One more wonderful thing happened this year, despite the pandemic and its challenges. In September, I began broadcasting this very live show. And since that time, it's been growing every week. And I'm really excited about that because it's a chance for me to reach out to students all over the world. So I want to show you something really exciting. Since September, where are we here? Yeah, since September, we've broadcast this live show to students in all of these countries. Really exciting because these are not focused in one part of the world. This show is actually reaching out all over the place. So it's very, very exciting. So that's why I'd like you to say hello in the comment box, say Happy New Year if you'd like, and tell us what country you're from. That's really exciting to get to know everyone and see where you're contacting from. So I'm just going to do some hellos, and then we'll get the show started. I'd like to say hello to Boris. Boris is in the Ukraine. He's a regular viewer. Happy New Year, Boris. We have Aiko joining us. We have Luther King joining us. We have Vil Arta, I think. We have Sabrina Cardillo. Happy New Year, Sabrina. We have Anesh Daya checking in. We had Ahmad bin Mahfouz. Mr. bin Mahfouz, hello. Long time no see. We have Abir Ahmed. I think Abir is from Bangladesh. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have Aiko, and she wishes us Happy New Year in Japanese, which is Akemashite omedetou. It's already New Year's Day in Japan, so I'm glad that some of our Japanese friends are checking in. We have Emiko Kachi. She's from Kyoto, Japan. We have Godfred Teko in the house. We have Derek. Derek is checking in. Derek Kakuku. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, Derek, so I'm sorry if I made a mess of it. We have Esther checking in. We have all kinds of friends checking in. Esther Citizenship. Wow. That's interesting. We have Godfred checking in. Godfred says, hey, sexy. Well, hey back. Very nice. We have Nami Kuboki checking in from Fukushima. Nice to have you with us. So we have a lot of guests. We have viewers and friends from all over the world checking in today. It's lovely. It's one of the things I love most about this show. So I really appreciate you guys watching. And again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Hardboiled English. And let's get that list of countries off the screen. Yep, perfect. So yeah, check out the YouTube channel when you have time, if you haven't already, and please subscribe so you can get all the reports of new releases and notifications of the live show and so on. So we're going to spend the first 40 minutes or so with me answering some of your questions. So if you do have a question, type it in the comment thread. And I'll spend some time answering your questions and saying hello. And then we'll bring the guests on. Now, my co-host, he's invisible today, but my special guest and co-host today is Anesh Daya. You'll see him in the comments, giving you some feedback and comments. He'll join us a little bit later. First, I want to keep the board clear in case you have some questions. But you'll notice his comments popping up here and there. So if you're just joining us now, guys, greetings. I'm Teacher Paul. I'm broadcasting to you live from Vancouver, Canada. It's on the west coast of Canada, sort of directly north from Los Angeles. Maybe you don't know Vancouver, but most people know Los Angeles and Hollywood. We're not that close, but we're directly north of that area of the USA. And Vancouver's in Canada, not the US. Tonight's a special night, so I thought I would dress up. Also, I heard black makes you look thinner, and lately I've been gaining a little weight because I'm eating too much, so I thought I'd wear black tonight. So if you're just joining us, please say hello, Happy New Year, and tell us what country you're in. That really helps. So Abir, yes, you're from Bangladesh. Welcome. Welcome to the show. And Happy New Year to you all. Now, the two best places to watch this show are on my YouTube channel and also on Facebook at the Hard Boiled English page. That way we can see all your comments. Sometimes when the broadcast goes live to Facebook groups, we don't see the comments. So if you're on one of the Facebook groups that I participate in, please jump over to YouTube or my Facebook page called Teacher Paul's Hard Boiled English. That way we'll make sure we see your comments. Abir Ahmed, I remember you always. You've been joining our show recently, and I really appreciate that. And we have Esther, we have Abir, we have Nami. Does anyone have any questions for me about English? Something that's been bothering you or something that confuses you? We have a little time to take some questions about this crazy English language. So type your question in the box and I'll do my best to answer it. Abir Ahmed is asking a question. He says, how can I myself practice spoken English because I have none to practice speaking? I'm going to give you a rough answer first, Abir, and then when my guest Anesh comes on, he's really an expert at improving people's speaking and creating opportunities for learners to practice their speaking. So I'll get his opinion on this question too. But here's my opinion. You're in a country where you don't speak a lot of English. I know that's a challenge to practice your English, and it seems like you have good English. A couple of things I would recommend. Find a partner who does speak English online and, schedule regular meetings with them using a video conferencing tool like Zoom or FaceTime and talk to each other in English. That's one way. Another way, of course, is to come on the show and not only listen to me, but I can bring you on the show. If you have a camera on your computer, I can bring you on the show like I do with my guests, and we can have a conversation. So if you'd like to do that sometime, let me know maybe in advance. I think we're connected on Facebook, so send me a message if you want to appear on screen. We can talk to each other, okay? But it is a challenge if you live in a country where the English isn't spoken widely. Maybe there's some conversation clubs in your city that you can join where other people like yourself, because Abir, you're probably not the only person in your country who wants to speak English and has no one to talk to. There's probably others. So it's a matter of finding them and getting together. And if not, hey, how about starting a conversation club at a cafe or somewhere where you can gather, maybe even a park, and advertising it on Facebook or something like that. You could start a club. When I first started teaching English in the English language school, we didn't have any kind of activities after school where students could practice their English. So I actually voluntarily started a conversation club. Once a week, we would gather after school closed and just get together and talk about all kinds of things. We had to create the opportunity to speak. Okay, let's have another question here. Everyone in my family is or are. Let's put that one up. Everyone in my family is or are. So this is a good question. It has to do with subject-verb conjugation. So as you guys know, most sentences have all sentences have a subject and a verb. It creates what we call the clause. It's the basic unit of meaning in English. And the subject has a special relationship with the verb. So if we say, and we want to put the be verb here, if I said I, you know what form the be verb has to take. I am, right? If we say he or she, we know that that has to change to is, right? And we know if you have a plural, we change to are. But we also have these words that sometimes mean plural, but act like a singular grammatically, okay? Everyone is one of those words. When we talk about everyone, it sounds plural, right? It sounds like a lot of people. In fact, it sounds like all possible people. In this little phrase, everyone in my family, family is not the subject. Everyone is the subject. So it's this word that has to connect with the be verb. It has to conjugate with the be verb. And even though everyone sounds like more than one person, it sounds more like this, right? The thing is, everyone means absolutely all possible people in the world. So that creates the meaning of a single group, a single thing. Everyone means everyone. It doesn't mean some people. It doesn't mean four people. It means absolutely everyone in its meaning. Therefore, grammatically, we have to conjugate this like a singular. Everyone in my family is, okay? Everyone is happy. Everyone is here, okay? So this word acts just like he or she. It's singular. The meaning is kind of plural. It means all possible people, which is a lot of people. It's clearly more than one. But grammatically, we have to treat it like a single thing. Because if you think about it, it is a single thing. It's one gigantic group in the whole world. Everyone. So you have to forget about in my family, because family is just telling us more information about this subject. So it's everyone in my family is. Okay, good question. Wow, I see some familiar names here. I see Eid Ahmed, Eid Hamad. Let's put Eid up on the screen, please. Haven't seen or heard from Eid in a long time. Eid, I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. By the way, where are you? Can you just type what country you're in right now? The last I talked to you, you were going to college in Canada, right? Wherever you are, Eid, Happy New Year to you. It's been a long time since we saw each other. Who else do we have here joining us now? Okay, well, if you have any questions, let me know. We have a little bit of time left before we bring our guests on. Okay, let's continue with this idea. What about all of the people? And the question is, do we use is or are? Okay, I'm going to move this. Again, we can isolate a piece of this. And this is something you should learn to do too when you're confused. I'm a big fan of doing this in order to understand what's happening in a sentence. Testing alternatives. You can't do that when you're speaking, but if you're writing or practicing, you can test different ways of saying the same sentence. So for example, this is a big phrase, and it looks like a big subject, all the people in my family. And we have two nouns inside there. So it's confusing as to which one is the subject, right? Well, I recommend testing it. In my family sounds like a prepositional phrase. It sounds like a place, right? So what happens if we remove that? Let's say the sentence completes like are happy. All of the people in my family is or are happy. That's a little bit fadey down there. Well, if we take this away, test it. If we take this away from the sentence, what do we have? All of the people is or are happy. So that tells me we don't really need this. This is not the subject, right? This is probably just a modifying phrase. It's telling us a little bit more information about all of the people. Or what if you remove this? Test that. In my family are happy. Now that's weird, right? You're not saying my family is or are happy. You're saying in my family are happy. That doesn't sound like a subject. So again, we've now concluded that this is not necessary. It's not the subject. It's helpful, but it's not the subject. This is. And this meaning, all of the people, is a lot like saying everyone, right? This is the noun, though. This is the true part of the sentence or the phrase that's really the subject. And people is a little bit different than everyone. People is singular. Sorry, people is plural. So we match people to are. People everywhere are happy. People somewhere are happy. People are happy. Those people are happy. So people is plural, and it works with are. Okay? This doesn't change anything, and all of the people doesn't change anything. You could put all of the people are happy. Some of the people are happy. You could say short people are happy. Tall people are happy. It doesn't matter. That noun is your subject. These just modify it. They give us a little bit more information about our subject. Okay, so that's a great question. Something to work on and think about. Anyone else have a juicy question? A juicy English mystery we should take a look at? Okay. Well, again, greetings and Happy New Year to those of you watching. We have lots of people from different countries here with us. We have Boris. We have Eid. We have people coming and going. We have Abir here. We have Nami. We have Esther. We have Vil, I think, Vil, Arta. We have Godfred. We have Emiko, Derek. We have Aiko. We have Ahmad bin Mahfouz, Sabrina Cardillo, Luther King, Aiko. Okay, lots of nice friends and viewers watching the show. Thank you. Abir is asking a question. Which noun is voice? I think what you're asking, Abir, is it singular or plural, right? So, for example, if I said Paul's voice, I think you understand that voice is a noun, but we want to know about the be verb. Paul's voice is loud. I think sometimes on the recordings of this show, my voice is kind of loud, so I'm trying to talk softer today. Paul's voice is loud or are loud. And voice is the noun. Paul is a noun, but when we make a phrase like this for the subject, Paul's voice, what's the subject, Paul or voice? Well, voice is, right? We're talking about the voice that Paul possesses. So it belongs to Paul. Paul is just modifying the subject because we can take that away and voice is or are loud. We're focusing on this idea of voice. Well, the question is it singular or plural? Well, it's singular, and I'll explain why. Now, my voice makes many sounds, different sounds, but the voice itself, I have one, right? I have one. I only have one voice. Now, I can change it, right? I can sing. You don't want to hear that, trust me, but I can sing and my voice will change. I could also imitate other people, like I could do a Donald Trump imitation and say, oh, it's going to be tremendous. So I can change my voice, but I still have one voice. So voice is singular, okay? Looks like some people may be having trouble linking. I don't know. What's happening here? Oh, okay. Let's see. Dots. Okay. We have Valessa joining us now. Valessa is going to come on as a guest in a little while. In a moment, Valessa will try to get you the link. You know what? We could take this off. And maybe we only have 3 available. Aiko's sending a message. I could understand the difference between everyone and all of the people. This is a very interesting grammar point that pops up a lot. When you use the modal could, I could understand. This is actually a little bit of a problem, Aiko, because when you say, I could understand the difference, I'm not sure if you understand the difference or not, because the modal could just tells me you had the ability to understand. So there's a little bit of a rule. I have a video about this. It's actually my very first English weirdness episode. I think you should watch it because this is a very common error. If you have a single positive action in the past, you can't use could. For example, it's strange to say, yesterday I could eat my pizza. It creates ambiguity, which means 2 possible meanings. I could eat my pizza means maybe I ate it, maybe I didn't eat it, but I had the ability. So if something actually happened in the past, if I ate the pizza, all I need to say is, yesterday I ate the pizza. Did I have the ability? Of course. If an action happens in the past, you must have had the ability. So you don't need could. Using could for a single positive past action creates a split of meaning, 2 possible meanings. It's confusing. If you say, I could understand, I'm not sure if you did or didn't. So, Aiko, I think you're better to say, I understood the difference. Now it's clear what happened in the past. You understood the difference. Did you have the ability? Of course you did. Okay? But English weirdness number 1 explains this in great detail. So I think you should take a look at that, Aiko. And we could talk about another time in person too. So very good questions. Did Valessa get the link? No? Okay. But I think, Aiko, you were trying to tell me that you did understand the difference. And if that's the case, I'm grateful. I'm happy about that. But in that case, you should say, I understood the difference. Yeah. So this is also explained in the video, Aiko. If it's really important for you to, if the ability changed, if it was very important for you to express that the ability changed, for a single positive action in the past, do this. I was able to understand. And the reason this works better is because we have a past tense verb. Compare that to I could understand. If you say I could understand, but you're talking about the past, we have a problem because neither this verb is not in the past. And could is not a verb, it's a modal. So even though it's in the past form, it's not expressing tense. The verb has to express the tense. And that's the verb. In this sentence, we clearly have a past tense verb, and we have the word that expresses the ability. So for example, if you couldn't understand it in the past, but because of this show, your ability changed and you want to express that the ability changed, this is what you should say. Okay? The rule is a single positive action in the past, don't use could. Now, if it's a single negative action in the past, absolutely. I couldn't understand. And the reason that works is if you couldn't understand it, there's no action. No action happened. No understanding happened in the past. So the verb doesn't have to be in past tense because it didn't happen. So if I say last night, I could not eat my pizza, the verb doesn't have to change because the action didn't actually happen. I didn't eat the pizza. So you can use the negative, but the rule is single positive action in the past, can't use could. Now, ongoing action, positive in the past, you can use could. And what is an ongoing action? Well, for example, when I was a child, I could see my friends every day. See. Now, that's not a single action. That's years of see my friends. Years of ongoing action. I could see my friends every day. That's different. Single positive action in the past, don't use could. But this is not a single action. It's positive. It's in the past. But this is an ongoing state or action. Or when I was a child, I could imagine many stories. As a child, I was a daydreamer, so all the time I could imagine stories. Not once, not a single action, many times, all the time. But Aiko, please check out English Weirdness number 1. It's all about this. It's a very common error, but it does create confusion when you use it that way. Okay, Valessa, we're having a little trouble getting you the link to join the show. It doesn't seem to go to Facebook, so I'm wondering if you can switch over and watch us on YouTube. Is that possible, Valessa? Or, Valessa, you're at Facebook. Make sure you're not at my personal profile that says Paul Duke. You should be at the Facebook page. Okay, switching over. Okay, perfect. Okay, we've got guests lining up. Yeah, okay. Well, Valessa's asking a question here about prompt. And I'll make this the last question so we can get our guests happening. Bear with me a moment. Prompt. So prompt means several things. As a noun, let's focus on the verb first. As a verb, it means to start something. So if you've taken English tests like IELTS, they have prompts, questions, and little stories maybe like, you have to write an email to your landlord. Write an email complaining about the noise. That's a prompt. It's prompting you to take some action. When I say things like, hey guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm prompting you. I'm suggesting an action or asking for an action. I'm pushing you to do something. I'm prompting you. That's the verb. The noun form of prompt, same spelling. This is the thing that prompts you. So on an IELTS test, it's the question that you have to answer. It's the thing that says, write an email to your landlord. That is the prompt because that thing is creating the action. There's also an adjective form of prompt, same spelling. Actually, no, there's an adverb form. There is no adjective that I can think of. The adverb form is promptly means on schedule or on time. Well, really, without delay. So my show, for example, starts at 5 p.m. That's our schedule. And I like to start promptly. at that hour. I don't want to start at 5:05 because that's confusing for you viewers. So I want to start promptly at 5. So that's the adverb. It's describing how I start. Okay. Now I'm going to get set up now, guys, because we have some guests lining up. Yeah. Yeah. That's Anesh's guest. So without delay, guys, I'm going to bring my special guest and co-host onto the show. And we're going to do a little exercise together. So my guest is a new friend of mine. He's also someone I met because of the pandemic lockdown and because I had time to spend at home focusing on the internet, promoting my website and my videos. And I happened to meet this gentleman. He's a great instructor, teacher, coach. He runs On the Spot Language School in Toronto, and they do amazing things with students. I'm a big fan of his work. So without delay, let me introduce to you Anesh Daya. Here's Anesh. And allow me a moment to get
Paul.
Sound up and running.
Can you hear me okay?
You, Anesh?
Indeed, we got a couple hours to go.
Yeah, lots of time. It's good to have time to spend.
Can you see my little sign here? I don't know.
Yeah. There we go. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year there. And got my little Christmas tie here.
Yeah, very nice.
And I knew that you were going to be dressed up in a suit. So I decided to wear a traditional Indian outfit.
Wow.
To
that
celebrate
looks great.
The New Year.
Is New Year a big holiday in India? Is it an important day?
A lot of people, most people celebrate Diwali.
And that was
the New Year, which is, I think, last month.
Right.
A couple months ago. And so that's always kind of out with the old and in with the new. But yeah, so for this year, I decided, you mentioned you're going to wear a suit and tie. So I'm like, all right.
You look great. Can you stand up a little bit and let's see how the jacket is it a jacket? Oh,
it's
wonderful.
Pretty long. It's like a long kurta pajama kind of thing.
Very cool.
They call it. And then I also added a little disco ball today. There you go.
Oh, right on. So our humble show is turning into a disco party. New Year's Eve disco party.
That's it. We got to celebrate. And I'm so happy that so many friends have been able to join so far. So this is really exciting to see.
Yeah, we've got a couple on standby, but unfortunately, let's get them coming on board a little bit later. I'd like to spend some time with you talking about some deep questions as a way of looking back on the year and looking forward. So let's bring question number 1 up.
All right.
Question number 1. What was your greatest challenge in 2020? And by the way, guys out there watching, I want you guys to put your answer in the comment box too. Anesh and I will tell each other our greatest challenge, and I want you to also type in your answer. So Anesh, what was your greatest challenge this year?
Yeah, so what was your greatest challenge in 2020? First, I want to reply to Aiko. It said beautiful clothes. Thank you, Aiko. And good to see you, Aya. So obviously, for me, the biggest challenge would be being indoors and inside and being online all day. So usually with my students, like with Emiko or Ria or all the students who have joined on the Spot Language, we're always outside every day. And so I'm used to getting lots of vitamin D from outside and meeting with people and talking to strangers and getting really good exercise every day, because I get my energy from meeting people and getting outside but now I have to sit inside and meet my students like this, but we're kind of sitting down. So I'm like, okay, maybe we should stand up and, do the lesson or maybe move around a little bit. But it's really, really tough when you're just talking to a screen.
A screen, yeah.
So it's definitely, that was probably my biggest challenge, to transition from everything being outdoors and meeting lots of strangers and different people every day to being indoors, sitting down and trying to get energy from the computer screen. But yeah, like Esther said, everything is so challenging. That's true. But for me, that was my biggest challenge. Yeah. What about yourself, Paul?
Well, before I answer that, I just want to remind the viewers, or some viewers may not be familiar with you, Anesh's school program is all about getting students out into the real world and using English. They talk to strangers, they ask questions, they take photos, they get phone numbers from strangers. It's all about overcoming your hesitations and developing that confidence through real world interaction. It's the thing I admire so much about what you're doing. Now, take that away, your whole program had to change, didn't it?
Absolutely. So we had to transition to doing everything online, but there's still a way to improve your English, like you guys are doing with teacher Paul, and to be able to do it effectively online. If you have the right language coach or teacher, or we're both coaches, actually. We talked about that the other day. If you have someone to guide you and customize the lesson for you, to understand your strengths and weaknesses, and then to be able to make a plan, a study plan or an action plan of how we can tackle those problems for you, then you can start developing good routines to make those weaknesses maybe your strengths, and to help solve some of your most common English problems. And I think Esther Esther is an amazing person who actually helps people pass their citizenship tests and their CELPIP, and she has a great online program. We've all had these challenges as teachers and coaches to pivot online. But yeah, so that's been a big challenge, but you can find good help.
For me, the biggest challenge, I was pretty comfortable moving my teaching online because, unlike your program, a lot of my teaching focuses on writing. So I'm kind of a writing specialist. So writing, we didn't really lose a lot moving online, because generally we're focusing on the document that the student is writing. And we can have Zoom meetings or video chats. So that wasn't too much of a transition for me. What was really challenging for me, as part of staying home, was not exercising. I really love to exercise. And I have kind of two challenges, because I have some trouble with my legs. They're getting old. And I used to love to walk for hours and hours. I've walked for 12, 15 hours before. I've participated in walking marathons and stuff in my past. And in addition to walking or cycling or even jogging a few years ago, I love to lift weights and work out in the gym. And my apartment building has a fantastic gym. March came along and the whole thing closed. I've got a little bit of exercise equipment at home, but not enough to get a really solid workout in. And I also love to eat. So there's a double problem. I had to really be careful with my eating, because I knew I couldn't exercise effectively. So basically what I did was I took away one meal per day. Because I'm just sitting on my bum all day in a chair. I'm not burning the calories. So I was very conscious of that and very worried about it. And my weight has gone up and down a little bit, but I've managed to keep a pretty solid grip on it until this week, of course. So getting the exercise.
For sure.
I also like the sunshine, but I live in Vancouver and there's not a lot of sunshine, Anesh. So
I know, it's a lot of rain. Aiko knows that.
As you can see, I don't get a lot of vitamin D on my skin anyway. So my challenge was exercise. I'm also a bit older than you too. Well, a lot older than you. So exercise and health is important to me. Let's go to...
Interesting. Duca mentioned it was challenging not to overeat and stay home.
Overeat. Yeah.
So food. And Ria mentioned, because I know Ria, I think at some point she wanted to actually move to England. Actually, it was challenging for her getting used to listening to BBC News.
Okay.
And listening to their podcast.
Yeah.
She couldn't understand most of it.
Yeah. Well, moving to England is exciting. In my opinion, England is the home of the best music in the world. If you're a fan of music, you may not even realize how much great music comes from the UK. Think about the history of music there. For such a small place, unlike the US, for such a small place, it's produced so many great artists. Okay, we also have, I just want to say hello to a few people. We have Beta's in the house. I think I'm saying that right. We have Siam in the house. We have Esther again joining us. We have Aya's Notes joining us. Welcome to the show, guys. Let's go to question number 2. Yeah.
All right.
Let's go to, that's what Anesh was just talking about, Ria's challenge. Okay, number 2. What was your greatest achievement in 2020, Anesh? And viewers, type your answer too.
Yeah. Thank you for asking the question. Great question. Aiko also needs more vitamin D and sunlight. Good idea. Especially being a nurse, you know that. The greatest achievement would probably be shifting everything online for me. And so transitioning from outdoors every day to now inside every day, and developing a whole new program, language coaching program for all of my online students, where they can develop these routines. And even if they're back in their country, they don't have to be in Toronto. What are some things that they can do every day to improve their English?
Right. That's Abir was asking that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say, that would be my greatest achievement. And I would also add to that the routine of stretching, getting more daily exercise. And yes, I would say stretching. I've been doing a lot of breath work.
Breath work. Good.
And that's really, really helpful. So I've been doing a lot of breath work. So I would say my greatest achievement would be just the transition. And I feel it's been fairly successful, and I'm really, really happy with it.
That's great.
What about yourself?
Well, it's really hard to measure achievements. Maybe my greatest achievement this year has been watching my students succeed despite the challenges of online learning and so forth. So through the summer, I helped a whole bunch of students apply for, enter, and start succeeding at university. And they managed to finish one entire semester of university. I helped several students with their academic writing while they were in university. I also helped them get ready for university. And when I see them passing their university programs and thriving and succeeding, it's not my achievement, but I know that I helped them a little bit. And to see their achievement for an instructor, teacher, coach, that is my greatest achievement. Even though it's not really me that's doing it, I guess it always comes down to this for me. If someone says I'm a good teacher or I'm doing well at teaching or instructing or coaching, I can't measure it unless I measure it with my student success, because that's the goal. Sure. The goal isn't for me to go, I'm a good teacher. The goal is that student is succeeding and I help them. And if I was part of their success, that's my achievement. And even though so many students had to study online, and several of my students actually entered university for the first semester online, they didn't even get to go to campus. And I can't even imagine how hard that is compared to being in the class with your professor and being able to talk to your professor when you have doubts. But they did it. And along the way, I helped coach them through that process and give them some tips, help them with their writing, help them with their grammar and so on. And watching them succeed, I feel like that's an achievement, even though it's indirect. On a personal level,
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think meeting new friends online like yourself, Anish, maybe this would not have happened had the pandemic not forced us indoors. So it's not really an achievement, but it's something that came out of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Absolutely.
And being able to,
Esther actually mentioned, I just mentioned it. I filmed a whole course in my house.
incredible.
Whole online course with her daughter.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Which is pretty awesome.
That's a great achievement.
And she agrees that,
helping others can become achieve. Our achievements. Can we put that up on screen for a moment? Helping others achieve. That's a really great message. I concur, Esther. I think this is whatever we call ourselves, teacher, instructor, language detective, coach, our goal is to help our learners in different ways, but their success is our success. Really, there's no other way to measure it.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go to question number 3, Anish.
All right.
Number 3, what new skills did you develop in 2020? And what new skills will you develop in 2021? Double question.
Yeah, right. It's interesting. Someone else that I recently spoken with answered this question, and then it made me rethink my answer. And his answer was very unique. He said the newest skill that he developed was laughing.
Oh, amazing.
And I kind of resonated with that a little bit. I'm like, you know what? When you're in person, you can feel people's energy. Things are funny. You're laughing. You're smiling. But like when you're laughing online, there's something to laughing to a computer screen that doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not a skill that I ended up learning or have learned. Maybe that would be one for 2021.
Yeah.
But a new skill that I would have developed in 2020 would be, I would say, because I was helping students get into good routines, it kind of forced me to reflect on my own routines.
Okay.
If I'm telling all of my students to do all of this, maybe I need to develop the skill of, like one of my students, Hiroko, I said, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do yoga and breath work and I'm going to go for a morning run. And I go, yes, you should do that. Great. And I'm going to hold you accountable for doing that. I'm like, maybe I should also we say, put your mouth where your talk is, or talk the talk? Or
talk the talk, walk the walk.
Walk the walk.
Put your money where your mouth is.
That's it. Put your money where your mouth is. So I started going for my daily walks, and I would say just a new home routine. In the skill of being resilient with that routine and not giving up. Not sure if that's a skill, but it's a good. Yeah, maybe it's a skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there any specific skills that you developed in 2020?
Me, yeah, absolutely. Doing this live show, like I said earlier, I started doing this in September. I had never done this before. I'm not really the type of person who likes to stand there and say, look at me, look how, I'm not really like that. So the idea of appearing live for the world never occurred to me. But when the pandemic struck and my classroom was taken away from me, I thought, how can I continue to teach and answer my students' questions like I do in the classroom? And so I saw people doing this online. And I thought that is a way that I can still connect with my students and maybe meet some new students around the world. And then it started to really excite me. So, I started learning how to do this, following some YouTube specialists and some broadcasting specialists. I should give a shout out to a guy named Owen Video. He's kind of a guru of video work online, and I learned a lot from watching his
Oh, wow.
live show. So shout out to Owen, and thank you very much for all your advice and insight. Basically, I learned how to do this from him. So that's something I developed, and staying at home, I learned how to make meals for myself in a way that I wouldn't eat too much. So eating less is a kind of skill, because I like to just eat a ton of food. I'm kind of a pig. So learning to eat less is a skill. How about 2021, Anesh? What are you going to do in 2021?
It's interesting that what's his name, Duca, said he started playing the guitar. Actually, I want to learn how to play the guitar.
Oh, you want to play guitar too?
Reached out to a few friends and said, do you have a guitar, or how do I get started? Where do I start? I'm not musically inclined at all. I just have no music skills. But I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar, and so that's definitely something that I'm hoping to learn. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So Duca is playing the guitar, and she will continue in 2021. Hello, Bargain Betty, joining us now from the moon. Bargain Betty is a regular viewer. Let's go to question number 4, and then we'll bring our guests on, Anesh. One more question.
Okay, perfect.
What is something you need to let go of in order to thrive in 2021? So this idea of letting go of something means stop worrying about it, stop doing it maybe, if it's an action or a behavior, or ideas that we hold on to and believe so strongly. Sometimes in order to succeed or change our life, we have to let go of things. What's something you need to let go of in order to thrive in 2021?
Yeah, I would say, like you mentioned, these thoughts that some people have, these thoughts of maybe, is everything going to be okay? The world is so bad. There's so much negativity around. And so letting go of certain thought patterns of like, oh, is everything going to be okay? Or, am I going to have enough money, next month to survive and have a roof over my head? So letting go of some of these thoughts and thinking on the other side, everything is going to be okay. And I am doing well. And, so transitioning the mindset. So letting go a little bit of that negative thought patterns.
Negative thought patterns. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great
what about
thing
yourself?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm pretty good at letting things go that don't suit me or don't help me thrive. I've learned to do that over the years, but something in particular that I've had to let go of this year, and I've actually thought about not letting go in the new year, but I really need to. And it's quite simply this, teaching in a classroom. When my school closed in March, we believed that we would be coming back to it at some point. But the truth is, because of the pandemic and the changes in the world, our students aren't coming to Canada right now in large numbers, and they won't be coming to Canada for a while. So I have to let go of the idea that I need to be in a school to teach. I don't. I can teach anywhere, anytime, where there's a student. And I can do it in this format. If I have one viewer on the show, I have a class. If I have one private student that I work with, I'm teaching. So I don't have to be in the classroom to teach. And if I go back to my school, it will be because I choose to, not because I feel like that's the only option. I'm going to let go of that thinking. I'm going to go back if it suits me. If it doesn't, I'm just going to stay here in the internet world and connect with all these wonderful viewers that join the show every week, and the students I work with privately. So I've kind of held on to the idea that I have to work in a school to be a legitimate teacher. I don't think I do. So I'm going to let go of that in 2021 and see where this new road takes us. Yeah.
That's great. Cool.
Let's move from the questions. We can come back to them in a bit.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
we have two messages from some of your students, Ria and Hiroko. I want to share those with the viewers now. Maybe I'll get you to introduce Ria's first.
Sure. So
What can you
Ria
tell
was
us?
a student. Ria was a student of ours. She initially actually came to Canada and studied English in Montreal, and then came to Toronto to study with on-the-spot language. And she was a leader in the class. We had a group of 3, and she was always motivating and supporting the other students who were maybe breaking down. She was, she just had more life experience, and she was kind of pretty strong. She kind of broke down a few times herself, but she ended up being one of our best students. And when she went back to Japan, she actually started studying with me online.
Great.
Even while she was working for almost more than 6 months, and her English actually improved quite a bit in her thought patterns and her routines in Japan while
Fabulous.
she's walking to work, or, it was amazing. And I'm really proud of her. So I guess you can show Ria's little clip.
Let's go with Ria's clip.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year. This is Rie from Japan. I'm grateful for 2020. Last year taught me how important to focus about myself, and I'm so excited to coming 2021. I hope that everyone's filled with more happiness in 2021. Thank you. Bye.
Lovely. Anesh, why don't you introduce Hiroko's? What can you tell us about Hiroko?
Great. So Hiroko is actually a student who's still in Toronto and had to quarantine, but she still works at a Japanese ramen restaurant in Toronto. And she's managed to get really close with her homestay family. And she also took my online language coaching after she joined my full-time program. She joined with me online and is still my student. And she was able to stay positive throughout all of this, being in Toronto. And it's interesting to hear her comments, what she's grateful for.
Excellent. Okay, let's broadcast Hiroko's.
Valessa.
Hi, Anesh and Teacher Paul. I wanted to join your YouTube live, but I have to work until midnight today. I'm very grateful for my host mother in this year during COVID-19. I could enjoy staying home because of her. We made delicious food, did barbecue, talked a lot, something like that together. So she made my year. Thank you. Happy New Year. Bye.
Thank you very much. Guys, we had a comment here that somebody could not hear you, Anish. Is everything plugged in on your end?
Or
let's double check that.
Yeah, I think it might have been maybe muted when it was on the other one, but I think it should be okay now.
Yep.
So yeah, interesting. So Hiroko mentioned her home. She's grateful for her homestay mom. And then Ria mentioned self-care, mental health. Self-care was really important. And I believe we have one student waiting in the background.
We do. Before we bring her on, we're just going to say hi to Daiki. Daiki's joining us. Tran Titin is joining us, perhaps from Vietnam. I'm not sure.
Right.
Okay, so this might be a little bit rugged because we're going to try and bring all 3 of us onto the screen. So let's bring Emiko on. Okay, perfect.
Emiko!
Hi, Emiko. We cannot hear you.
We can't.
Hello, can you hear me?
Perfect.
There we go.
Hello, Anesh.
Ohio.
Hello. This is my
Happy New Year.
Her family. Oh my God, her whole family Oh, Oba-chan, arigato. Sugoi.
Hello. 明けましておめでとう。
明けましておめでとうございます。
We are having
Arigato gozaimasu. So thank you for letting us join your New Year's breakfast.
You're
Thank
welcome
you.
having New Year's. This is called osechi ryori.
Osechi.
It's
Osechi ryori.
assorted of small dishes, like a bento style. Sorry, we just had. Can you see that?
Wow. That looks delicious.
Oh, I'm so hungry now.
Also,
Beautiful.
so I'm super proud of Emiko because actually when she was in Toronto, her parents came to Toronto as well, and I got to meet them with her brother. And her parents were actually using some English in Toronto, which is amazing.
All of my family joined your class and try to your focus sentence.
Focus
Her
sentence.
parents
Yeah.
used some focus sentences with me. It was amazing.
Great.
And then when I went to Japan 2 years ago, Emiko actually joined me in Okinawa and helped me motivate and inspire other students to improve their
Wonderful.
English. One of the great things, Emiko had a dream when she was intern. I'm going to have my own, Airbnb or bed and breakfast, and I'm going to extend my house, and I'm going to invite foreigners to come and stay. And she did it.
Yes.
That's great.
And it's called Kyo Antu Inn, right?
Yeah, our inn is located in Kyoto, Japan, and we have 3 rooms. One is big for family, and two twin rooms we have.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Do you want to, Emiko, do you have a website or something you can put in the comment box?
Yes, I have.
Awesome. So if anybody watching wants to go to Kyoto, Emiko loves history and is full of knowledge. We'll give you a tour of Kyoto, and her rooms at Kyoanto Inn are so clean and nice, and she does
Wow.
amazing flower arrangements as well. It's awesome, and Emiko's super awesome. It's a very great place.
I'd love to visit. I love Kyoto.
Yes.
I've never been. Actually, she has some guests there today, right? Are they sleeping?
Yeah, he's sleeping. He's not a morning person, but he's a regular customer for us and coming from Saudi Arabia. In person, he's sleeping right now. Because we were at the temple last night on the midnight to strike the big bell at the temple. So we came back very late. So he's still sleeping.
Oh, God. So her
That's
guest right now
fantastic.
is from Saudi Arabia, and he's sleeping. So, Emiko, one of the questions that we're asking some people are, what are you grateful for?
You mean having this accommodation business?
Okay, that could be, yeah. So what are you thankful for? What are you grateful for in your life? For family or your business or...
Yeah, I think I want to thank you to all because I use English that I learned from you in Canada 7 years ago. And thanks to my family, I'm having our inn with my family right now. And many of tourists is coming to see us right now. And it's very beautiful things and great experience for me.
Brilliant. You're amazing, Emiko, and we love your family very much. Thank you so much for joining us. And Daiki just mentioned, see you guys. Happy New Year. Akimashite omedetou. Oba-chan.
Akimashite omedetou.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emiko. Bye.
Bye.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
bye-bye. Bye-bye, Emiko. Thank you. Very, very exciting, Anesh.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, wonderful. Why don't we move ahead and bring our next guest on? Because we have already touched on the idea of self-care and mental health. So I'm going to introduce you and our viewers to someone I know who's a real expert on this kind of thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Valessa Rizzotto. She's from Brazil. She's a psychologist there, but she has immigrated to Canada. She studied English in Canada, in Vancouver, with me. And now she's going on to, I think, some postgraduate studies so that she can practice psychology and counseling here in Canada. Valessa, thank you for joining us.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, dear.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. I'll try to. I was
My
able to.
recommendation is not to use the Bluetooth. Maybe use your
Let
headphones.
me try. Yeah, I'll try this one.
Okay.
Yeah, usually there are issues with Bluetooth usually in doing online
Yeah.
streaming. Now I can already hear her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hear her, right? I can hear her clearly. She can't hear us.
Right. Let's see here. Now can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Valessa?
I still can't
No.
hear you.
Still can't
Anesh?
hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me try something. I wonder
When the
if it's
last
because...
student, showed, I couldn't hear you anymore.
Okay. Anish, it might happen. This happened once before in a test where we had 3 of us on screen and someone's volume we couldn't hear. So I'm going to take you off screen for a couple of minutes, Anish.
Sure.
And I'm going to interview Valessa. And then after that, we'll bring you on and we'll try to discuss. And even if I have to step off. So Anish will join us shortly. So let's take Anish off. Valessa, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Valessa? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Gosh.
Yeah. Can you
This
hear
doesn't
me?
make any sense. Yes, perfectly.
I can't. No.
What are we doing
When the
differently
last
that we didn't?
student was talking, I couldn't hear you and nobody else.
Is your volume, it's a stupid question, but is your volume up?
Yeah, no, it's
Can
not
you-
the volume. It was maybe. Let me.
We hear
try.
you perfectly.
Maybe I will try to. Don't know what to do.
Are you on your computer or your phone?
Maybe I'll take
Computer
it out.
or phone?
Okay.
So everyone out there is reporting that they can hear us, but Valessa cannot hear us, guys.
I just sent you a private chat.
Okay.
A private message.
Okay. Can you type to Valessa? Ask her if she's on phone or computer. Valessa, I'm going to send you a message.
Phone. On my phone.
Phone?
Should I
Okay.
change to the computer?
If you can, yes.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
try. I'll do it. Give me just a second.
Okay. Alessa's going to change to her computer. So let's bring Anish back on screen while we wait for her to get set up. Technical challenges, Anish.
Hey, I hear you. I hear you. It's when people do it for the first time. I think we had that same kind of
Yeah.
before. It was interesting that actually Daiki mentioned he was also from Kyoto before, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Aiko went there on her school trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into this topic of mental health that we're going to be talking about, that's a huge and very important topic, especially now. So that's I'm excited to jump into that.
Yeah, me too.
Sure.
Let's hope we get this going. It's funny because yesterday I did a test with Valessa and everything was working. So Valessa, can you hear us?
She had her Bluetooth.
She had plug-in earphones. Let's try and bring Valessa back on. Okay. She's vanished on us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Kyoto. Actually, I did some university there at Ritsumeikan University, and I stayed there and loved it. I got to spend a lot of time just sort of exploring the city on my own. When I was in university, I was in my 40s, so I didn't have a lot in common with my classmates. They wanted to go to sort of the tourist things that I'd already been to, castles and temples. I wanted to go to the cool jazz bars. So, okay, never mind the jazz bar. Let's try and bring Valessa back on. I'm going to push you off, Anesh, and bring Valessa on.
Okay.
Valessa, can you hear us? Now I can't hear you.
We can't hear her.
Valessa, it's something on your end. Everything's all lined up here fine.
Yeah.
Can you say something, Valessa?
Button on.
We don't hear you. You hear us, but we don't hear you now. Let's see.
Yeah, she should be able to see those little green bars moving, right?
Yeah. Let's keep her on screen. She's the picture's great. We don't hear you, Valessa. Anish, let me remove you and see if there's only enough audio for two. So let's take Anish off screen. Valessa, do you hear me? We don't hear you still. Sorry, guys, we're working on this. Strange because it worked so nicely yesterday. Oh, dear. All my settings are... Down in the bottom of the screen should be a little gear. You know, the gear button, which is your settings. I don't know what that looks like on your side, Anish. Maybe you could mention to her and talk her through. You might have to change the input. Yeah. She should be able to, right? Oh, I thought I heard something. Okay, what about the input source, Valessa? If you go to the gear...
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Perfect.
Oh, okay, great.
Actually, can you turn it down a wee bit now? What about the input source, Valessa? You go to the gear. Valessa, just... Can you put your volume down a wee bit? Everybody out there, viewers, Anish, Emiko, can you hear Valessa now?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep. Can you hear me, Valessa?
Yes, okay. I can.
Good. And the viewers can hear us. Perfectly. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay. Valessa's good. Let's bring Anish back on. And let's see if we can hear all of us now. Anish, say something, please.
Hello.
Valessa, do you hear him?
Testing, 1, 2.
Yeah, but I can...
Yeah.
We hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
Yes, I do.
But there's a delay, maybe?
So close your other windows. So to close Facebook or close YouTube and just keep this screen on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you'll get like an echo or a delay. All right. Aiko, perfect. Okay, Daiki, yes. Perfect.
Okay, everyone can hear us.
How about now?
There you
Sounds
go.
Great.
Okay, great.
Well, Valessa, welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. This is my friend and fellow English aficionado Anesh Daya from Toronto. He's been guest on the show several times. Valessa used to be a student of mine, and we worked together even afterwards. Valessa, why don't you tell us your story, first of all, starting with Brazil. Let's go back to Brazil.
Yes. So I was a psychologist. I am a psychologist in Brazil. And I decided to come to Canada with my family 4 years ago. When I decided to come to Canada, I started preparing myself for the new world of English. So I had a private tutor in Brazil for 1 year. When I arrived...
Valessa, just pause a moment. Is it possible to pull your microphone away from your face a bit?
Yes.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. And then I...
A little closer?
Okay. Sorry for that.
It's okay. Perfect.
No, is it good now? Okay.
Yeah, so you had a private tutor in Brazil.
Yes. That's okay. Then when I arrived in Canada, I decided to study English because I wasn't feeling comfortable. I wasn't feeling confident to look for a job. My husband came with the student study permit, and I arrived here with a work permit. I was able and allowed to work in Canada, but I wasn't confident for that. So I decided to take English lessons, and Paul was my teacher. So this is my story when I arrived in Canada. I studied in that school for 7 months. And the interesting thing is that when you are an adult learning English, it's different from a kid. I have a kid, she's 10 years old, and she learned English when she was 6 when we arrived here. So it was two different ways to learn English. I felt like a baby trapped in an adult body because I couldn't express myself in English.
But you had adult thinking, right?
Exactly. And as an adult, I wanted to be recognized as a smart person. And I couldn't. So, exactly. Yeah.
That's challenging.
Yes, it is.
Frustrating. And so now what are you doing? Let's say, what have you done this year? How have you adjusted your life in 2020?
Yes, it's been challenging. Okay. So I've been, well, how can I say that? I am still an employee from an English school, even though I am in a paid leave. So after March, when we were told to work from home for 15 days, and then it became months, in May, most employees were laid off or enter into the paid leave. And then I adjusted my life with my family mainly because I had to set up my home to be an office, and I don't have much space. So, and my kid was learning from home as well. Her school was closed. My husband was working from home. So we had to set up the office and our lives. I am not a teacher, so, and I had to help my kid to learn from home. Her teacher was learning how to use Teams, and everyone was learning. So for me personally, I even though it's been a challenging year, I think we were able to learn a lot this year. We should give a pat on the back because I think we are winners.
Yeah, we've done pretty well, haven't we?
Yes, But
We've
the
adjusted.
bad thing is I haven't been speaking in English for a while. We speak Portuguese at home, so my English is a little bit my English is a little bit rusty.
Sounds pretty good, Valessa. You don't have to worry.
Thank you.
So Valessa is a psychologist, and we've heard a lot this year about physical health. The COVID virus is an attack on our physical health.
Mm-hmm.
But our response to the physical attack of a virus has been to stay home, social distance, not go to work. And that has resulted in a lot of different emotional and psychological and mental challenges too. Can you tell us some of the things that we should all notice, first of all? Because I think some of us have felt strange through the year, but don't really notice that it's part of the COVID experience. It's some people think, oh, I'm a bad person, or I'm sad, or it's me, when in fact maybe it's part of something that we're all experiencing. Is that something you notice?
Yeah. First of all, being sad is a part of our life. All feelings are legitimate, and the way we deal with them, we have to be careful about the way we deal with them. So this year, I think, and there are many studies that have been done because of this, it's a year of mourning, a year of loss and grief for many things, for our lifestyle, for our previous life, for
our
our
jobs.
routine. Even our routine, and sometimes we were sad or we were mad with our routine, but we are mourning because of that. We are mourning because of the loss of our freedom to go outside, to meet people, to talk to people, to hug people, to be in a classroom, and to be in our jobs, to commute. Even commuting, people feel like miss this. Then not everyone, but I mean,
it's part of the routine for sure.
Exactly. So, and of course, many people lost loved ones.
Yeah.
Because of the COVID, because of other diseases. But the thing is, this year, many people got into depression, had panic attacks, had anxiety, and I usually watch news, so many the deaths because of overdose, like, were unbelievable this year, and suicide and all of these things. And if you talk about students usually feel homesick, and because they can't go home, back home, and they cannot be in contact with others, that homesickness just go high.
Yeah. Anesh, have you noticed any of these things in your own experience or people you know?
Yeah. Like you said, Valessa, isolation, right? Feeling isolated in your own little bubble, and it's very, very challenging. And specifically talking to what Paul just mentioned about students, family, at least when they can go outside, they're meeting people, talking to people. But a lot of these international students who didn't go back, they stayed in Canada, like Aiko, like Hiroko, like Daiki. These students are still here. I've been fortunate to actually do some language coaching with them while they're here, to give them motivation because in Canada, half of the year we have seasonal affective disorder, right? Yeah. And so fortunately for the beginning part of the year, the weather wasn't so bad, but now when the sun sets at 5 or 5:30 and nobody's getting that vitamin D, and people like, is the day over? Why do I feel sad? And why do I feel tired all the time? You feel no motivation to get up. And I was fortunate that with some of my students, like I mentioned a few times now, Paul, is we started developing these good daily routines. For example, just daily gratitude. And, I'm grateful for this. And also acknowledging, what was the most challenging part of my day? And how can I do better tomorrow? And what was the best part of my day? And just asking these questions and talking about it with other people in the house or online.
One day at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to take it a day at a time. And I think my students have actually done probably better than I have. Again, going back to me telling them to do all of this and me not doing it. It's like the doctor who smokes, right?
Right.
But
yeah, I think it's really interesting that a lot of our daily routines have either been lost, as Valessa points out, and it feels emotionally like real loss. Routines, freedoms, habits, your job. Some of us have lost jobs, and it feels in your physiology and your emotional responses like death loss. But the other thing I've noticed too is that a lot of people I've talked to don't realize that what they're experiencing is part of this pandemic experience. They think it's me, like, oh, I'm depressed, it's all about me. Your experience, we're all going through this, and not to de-emphasize someone's experience, but they need to know that they're not alone, and it's not their fault. It's this situation. It's hurting us all. I have noticed also among my friends, and I'll admit to this a bit myself, whereas before, maybe we'd go out for alcohol, for drinks, maybe once a month we'd meet at a bar or something and talk about work and talk about life. A lot of my friends are drinking more at home and as a way of coping with their feelings. But in my experience, if you fall into that routine of drinking at home, it's just going to make you more depressed, because alcohol is a depressant. It's only fun and uplifting when you're sharing a party with your friends. It's the friends and the socializing that's exciting, not the alcohol. You're drinking alone, you start feeling down, I think. And I think that can be a problem for a lot of people. I've tried to be very careful with that at home.
That's a great point.
Yeah, me too.
I only used to drink socially. So actually, I think I've had maybe 3 times online. I've had drinks with friends, but those are the only 3 times I've actually had alcohol at all.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So it's been kind of the reverse for me. I got to meet my friends less, so I drank less. But then when I did meet them online and play online poker or something, I said, well, okay, I'll have a drink. And they
online party.
They took my money, but that's okay. But yeah, it's
fair enough.
But a lot of people, especially in Canada, Valessa, they like to go for their morning pick-me-up. I want to go to my
morning. Sorry, what?
Their morning pick-me-up, so their morning coffee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so when a lot of Canadians, when they go to work around 10 o'clock, time for our morning coffee. They all go to Tim Hortons, get their coffee, and then come back. And now people don't have that. So. It's just the act of getting out and getting that coffee, walking back to work is good.
Yeah, those routines, those feelings of this is familiar behavior for me. It's a kind of ritual, and rituals help us focus, right? I used to have to commute to downtown Vancouver every day by bus and by SkyTrain.
Right.
And my ritual was, during that time, I would listen to the same music every day. Now, on my own, I listened to all kinds of music, but I always listened to the same music. I listened to one particular album by John Coltrane, a jazz saxophonist. I listened to the same thing every day before I go to work. because it helps me focus, because it's not new music to my ear, it's familiar. It helps me focus on getting my mind ready for the day of teaching. But that's a ritual for me, doing that same thing every day. And we've had to create new rituals and routines, I think.
Yes, you're right.
I just put a question on there. Maybe you could put it up there so everyone could see.
Which one?
Just what morning routines do you recommend, Valessa, for all of us?
I think whatever makes you feel good. If it's coffee, or if it's yoga, or meditation, or go for a walk, or just lay on the couch, whatever makes you feel good. It's a little bit hard to say, oh, do this or do that, and not everyone is the same. So I like to drink my coffee. And yeah, I have to drink coffee in the morning. This is the only time I drink coffee, actually. So I drink coffee and I go out for a walk now. So this is my therapy for my body, because for my mind, I do have my psychoanalyst. So
we have a question from Daiki.
Nice. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Are you an early bird or a night owl, Valessa?
I am an early bird. I like to wake up early, and I cannot work late of night.
How about you, Anesh?
Depends on what I'm getting up early for. So if I have a golf tee time very early, I'll be up bright and early, fresh, ready to go to play golf. But like I used to wake up early to do my classes. So Valessa, like Paul mentioned, I used to take my students outside on the streets of Toronto and teach them English outside every day. And so for me, it's just so energizing waking up like, okay, who are we going to talk to today? Who are we going to meet? And so getting ready, getting excited for that in the morning was my morning pick-me-up. You know. But I like that you mentioned a good thing, which was music. That's also a really, really good thing. Find your happy song. I always say that, you know.
I like to listen to music in the morning. I feel like it activates my brain.
Because music can change your mood just like that, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the song that you hear.
And what about you, Paul? Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Yeah, I think you know the answer to this, Valessa. I'm a kind of a notorious early bird. I'm one of those people who actually doesn't sleep a lot. Most of my life I've been like this. I'll tell you the story of why I developed this routine as a young person, but throughout my working life, I've slept on average around 4 or 5 hours a day. And some people worry about that from a health point of view, but I feel great in the day after that much sleep. So I would usually wake up anywhere from 2, 3, or 4 a.m., no later than 4 a.m. for most of my adult life. I think my wife thought I was crazy when she met me. However, Valessa, and Valessa knows this because we worked together and studied together a long time, and I would always be the first one in the entire building every morning.
Yeah.
But I'm actually sleeping more now than I ever have.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a conscious choice. I've taken the opportunity to sort of push that because I am getting older and I'm mindful of how the body changes and the metabolism changes. So I am getting more sleep these days. And the other great thing is in my apartment, I have a noisy neighbor upstairs and she's been locked out of the country for the last year. So our apartment's quieter and I'm able to sleep a little better anyway. I can sleep in the mornings a bit, but I'm definitely an early bird. Staying up late at night isn't really part of my habit, but waking up very early is.
Maybe Valessa can speak to this. I know a lot of people who sleep for a long time, but they don't go into REM sleep. So their bodies or their minds actually aren't resting properly. They don't go into a very deep sleep.
Yeah.
Even if they're getting 8 hours, someone like Paul, or who's getting very little sleep, maybe he's getting that sleep that he's getting, he's
It's
going into REM
Yeah.
deep. So when he wakes up, his body, his mind is feeling refreshed.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
truth
I
to
know that I know that Paul told me that he was a part of a research, right, Paul?
Yeah.
And everything was all right
Yeah.
with your REM in sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Some people just cannot turn off their brain sometimes because of the blue light. They go to bed and they stay in their electronics before falling asleep, and it's very bad for
Yeah.
the quality of the people cannot sleep properly.
Yeah.
And some people keep the TV on sometimes, and all of these things are not good for
Yeah.
the sleep.
In my case, I have no trouble falling asleep. I'm not like an insomniac, When I'm ready to sleep, I'm out. But after a short time, I'm kind of done with sleeping. I'm like, okay, I'm up, I'm ready, I'm refreshed. And as long as the health is intact, as long as the health is not suffering, because as I've told Valessa about this research, on a bell curve, the vast majority of people need 8 to 10 hours of sleep, but a small minority are healthy with a shorter amount of sleep. As well, a small minority actually need a lot more sleep. So, for example, teenagers who are growing and very active, they need more sleep, and so do seniors. But the majority of the population hits somewhere between 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep to be healthy. I mean, that's our goal. And there's a lot of people who sleep like I do, but not by choice and not for health reasons. They do it because they're overworked, or like Valessa says, they're on their phones late at night, or they're drinking coffee in the evening, right? Like, drink your coffee in the morning so you have a chance of going to sleep. And then there's people who work at night. Some of our students work in restaurants, for example. So they're running like crazy until 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then they go home and they have to try to sleep. That's hard because they're all wound up and energized. But Valessa, would you say that sleep is an important thing we should consider now during this pandemic as a means of caring for ourselves?
But a good quality of sleep, not over sleeping, because some people, since I'm home, I will sleep all day, and then they cannot sleep during the night.
Right.
So it's not over sleeping. They have to sleep. They have to have quality of sleep.
And not sleeping because you're bored and depressed and nothing else to do, right? Find something to do.
It might be a sign of depression, actually. It might be a sign.
And I think when you mentioned coffee, Paul, I think a healthy body is a healthy mind.
I agree.
So what you put into your body, if you're having a heavy meal at 10 p.m., your body is working overtime to digest all of that food, So
that's right.
What you eat, you are what you eat, right, Valessa?
Absolutely.
So
exactly.
Paying attention to the kinds of foods you're eating, especially as we are burning less calories every day. It's
I find that, like I said earlier, my biggest challenge was not being able to exercise regularly, because I find exercise not only makes me feel more positive and happier and energized, it actually makes me smarter. I feel smarter and more ideas and more neurons firing when I've exercised.
Because of all the hormones that are released.
And I think it's a great solution for someone who's feeling depressed, not clinically depressed, not medically depressed, but mild depression. Because I get like that sometimes. I feel a little bit down, and I feel like, feel a little bummed out about something, a little blue. I really want to exercise, and it changes my feeling a lot.
Because it releases dopamine and serotonin.
Right. Yeah. What else would you recommend us think about in the coming year, Valessa, to take care of our mental health and our emotional health?
Yeah, self-care is the key, of course. And you guys talked earlier about vitamin D. I think this is crucial for everyone to feel better, to be healthy. So exercise, especially outside, even though, oh, it's raining, it's cloudy, it's I'm feeling cold, it's cold, but go outside. Try to go outside for a walk at least once a day, even though,
I think that's great advice, Valessa, and I think it's something we Canadians can lead the way on because, Canadians don't make excuses for the weather. It's raining. I don't care. I'm going out. I don't use an umbrella. I put a cap on, maybe a hood if it's really pouring, but I go out and I feel great. There's no bad weather. In Toronto, Anesh is surrounded by snow. You go out and do stuff. There's no bad weather in Canada. There's just bad clothing. So if you have the right jacket, get out. Don't make weather an excuse. And I think by and large, Canadians are like that. We get out. One of my best friends in Vancouver, Anish, it was pouring rain today and it's really cold. One of my best friends went paddleboarding on the ocean today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm like, are you crazy? No, it's just another day.
It is still too much for me.
Yeah.
I am Brazilian. I'm getting there. I'm learning.
You're getting there.
Yeah, right. I'm learning. Yeah, and other than that, I think set goals for your life. It's being a tough year, but if we set goals, I think it's easier to go through it because you have a goal. Like you have forward. Yes, you are looking forward to something. And we talked before about living one day at a time. Even though you set goals, live one day at a time.
Yeah.
Because it will end. It will end. Like everything in our lives. When we are happy, our happiness is not forever. Our sadness is not forever. And this will be not forever. It will end. Yeah. We have to be confident. We have to have it like inside ourselves, like set inside ourselves that it will end. We don't know when, and this is the challenging, right? Because we don't know when it will end, but it will, and we have to be sure, like assured that it will end.
That's great.
There's an analogy where people say when you're driving a car at night, you can't see your destination.
Yeah.
You can only see as far as your headlights show. And so if you just take it, step by step, and then when you mentioned achieving goals, I think achieving attainable goals, not like mission impossible goals, like, oh, that's too big, making those micro daily goals, today I'm going to go for a 1 minute walk. That's it. Today, 1 minute. But the fact that for one of my students, she just said, I'm going to put on my jacket today.
That's great.
That was step one. And then tomorrow, okay, I'm going to put on my jacket and go for a 1 minute walk. And then, you build on that.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
I've always taught students when they have a big challenge, whether it's an academic paper they have to write for school, or they want to lose 20 kilos, or you want to climb to the top of a mountain. Like mountaineers know this. When you have a really extreme goal, and some of us have big dreams, and a lot of our viewers and students have big dreams and challenging goals. Don't look at the top of the mountain. Break that goal down into smaller goals. Instead of saying to yourself, I've got to get to the top of the mountain. Oh, I'll never do it. Make a goal like I'll get 1 kilometer up the mountain today. Rest and make a smaller goal for the next day. Achievable goals that compile to a larger goal. Just like we do with university. University, getting a degree is a huge goal. So you break it down into semesters. I got to pass this semester. I want to pass this class and build on it step by step. And then before you know it, you can get your degree.
And being that this is a language learning show, as Valessa knows, and just from kids as well, Language is if you can take, I want to improve my grammar. What do you mean? What do you mean? I want to improve my grammar. Like, okay,
Grammar
let's
is
take
huge.
something very micro.
Yeah.
Like, this is a pen. This is an apple. This is an egg. Like, you break it down. So, like,
Or that
when we were
stuff we
talking
talked about earlier.
Exactly. So when I learn music or learn songs in another language, I teach students. I do this with students, and we learn one line a day from the song, just one line.
That's
But
great.
practice that one line like a million times.
Right. Get it perfect.
Do you know what? Yesterday I talked to Paul, and I was telling him that when I arrived in Canada, and in my first day of school, I couldn't understand anyone, even though I was in intermediate, the intermediate level. I couldn't understand anything. I was so nervous.
I remember that.
And then I used to think, and I used to ask other people that were advanced or in advanced level, and I used to ask them, will I be able, am I be, will, oh my gosh, my English just, in the future, yes, will I be able,
Will I be
thinking
able
of the
to
grammar,
speak like you
will
in the
I
future?
be able to speak like you, or to think in English, or to switch from Portuguese to English? Because at the beginning, I used to translate everything. And if I was talking Portuguese, for example, I couldn't switch to English immediately. I couldn't understand. I was so. And then I used to ask other people. And then, of course, today I am not perfect. And I know I am hard on myself. And I am perfectionist. And I want to be perfect in English. But now, for me today, at this moment, is a big achievement because I am on live in English.
Yeah.
So for me, this is a big, a huge achievement in terms of language.
And now if you keep doing this and you go live more and more, it'll just become that much more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Valessa, tell us what your next plans are. What are your plans for 2021? I know that you have a new project.
Yes. So I am a psychologist from Brazil, so I can set up my online private practice in here, but I can only have my clients online and only Brazilians. So I applied for a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I got into it. And yes, I'll start my master's degree. Yeah, I cannot make this. I will start
really
my
great.
master's degree in counseling psychology in January next week, Monday, actually in 3 or 4 days. Yes, thank you. So, and for me, this is another great achievement.
Yeah.
Because it's not only an achievement about my career itself to become a counselor in Canada, but because we are talking about language, because it's in English. So I am scared as hell. But
you can do it.
Yes, I know I can do it. It will. I will have some nightmares and some hard time, but like because I am I am hard on myself.
Yeah.
But I know I can do it, and I'm very happy.
That's great.
And we can see that you've taken either that nervousness or that scared feeling, and you've turned it into excitement, which is amazing. So good for you.
And you know you'll succeed because you have done it. And this is what Anesh's program does. when you do something, that's where true confidence comes from. Practicing it, doing it. If you know you can do it, you feel confident. And you only know you can do it if you have done it. And you have done it. You started with intermediate. And then I remember we shared a class where you wrote newspaper articles.
Yes.
And then academic research writing. And all of those little steps prove to yourself that you can do it. And you have confidence for the next level, or you should have confidence now. You know you can do this because you have done it on a different scale, but you have done it.
And because I had the best teacher.
I think I think a key point in all of that, and something that, I mean, I think I'm probably, I may be the youngest here. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think that we each know how we learn.
Yeah.
Right. And so learning how to learn is huge. And so when students are saying, here's a textbook, let's learn like this. Well, if you're not that kind of learner, so Valessa knows, okay, I'm doing my master's degree in English, but I know how I need to learn. Of course, English is still going to be a challenge, but you know how to learn, whether it be writing or listening or reading. You have your routine of how to learn effectively. And I think that's what students aren't really equipped with. They don't have those tools of, how do I learn? What's the best way for me and how I should learn?
That's right.
And when they're sitting down in a classroom with a teacher and they're all taught the same way.
Yeah. It's a problem.
You know, and so having coaches or a therapist or having someone to, you know, dig deep into your psyche and find out, you know, maybe their past traumas or something that's affected them in the past, you know, you're going to tackle, Valessa will tackle each client very differently.
Yeah.
Just like how Paul and I approach our students very differently, right?
Valessa has shared a classroom with me, and she knows that I'm a little bit unconventional. I'm a little bit more like what you do. Even in a writing class, I treated every student differently, fairly, but every student is different. I need to know what their story is, what their goal is, and the way they need to learn. And everyone's different. And I would always make a really strong effort to get to know them, figure out how they need to learn and how I can help them. Anish, I would customize their learning even inside the classroom.
Right.
Which was pretty strange in a kind of structured academic environment, but it's what I naturally felt was the best way.
Yeah.
And Valessa, you know what Anesh does? He improves students' confidence in speaking because they come to him and they say, I want to learn how to speak, but I'm so shy, or I don't have confidence. And he says, great, let's go speak. And he pushes them out into the world, and they go through the process, even though it's terrifying, of speaking to real people.
That's great.
And after that, they know they can do it because they've done it with his help, with his support. Just like you and I did with a writing class. I said, here, write a newspaper article, right? And then I gave you feedback and we polished it and revised it. And then you know you can do that because you have done it. That's what I think is so, where Anesh and I have connected, is that idea of customizable learning, regardless of what the focus of the learning is. It can be speaking, it can be writing, it can be grammar, listening, whatever.
Yeah, that's great.
Customizing it to the individual student and then having them do it instead of, you know, I use the board to examine and explore the language. I'm not teaching you how to do that. I'm not saying repeat after me and say that. I'm not delivering knowledge. I'm helping you dig at your own knowledge. So even that is not necessarily conventional.
Yeah. I'll give a perfect example with Daiki, who joined us live and who's on live right now. He's crazy, Valessa, about the Beatles. He just loves the Beatles. Everything is the Beatles. So his homework or his task was customized. He would ask people, you know, I'm just curious, who would you say is your favorite singer? And naturally you'd say, oh, as for me, right? And then I said, Anesh, I want to make like stories and stuff. And so in dialogues and make conversations, but within these dialogues or his writings, Paul, Valessa, he would add the titles of Beatles songs.
That's great.
in his conversations or in his stories he was making.
That's
And I'm just like,
fantastic.
oh my goodness, that's brilliant. He's like, are you okay? He's like, oh, just let it be.
Let it be.
You know, and
That's great.
so he took his, and that's part of my job is what's your interest? What's your passion? And now suddenly he's really excited
Yeah.
about learning, right? And when something is fun, it's easier to learn.
Yeah.
And to remember.
That was very fun, Daiki said. And Daiki took the next step, and now he's even started his own YouTube channel where
Oh,
now
great.
he's teaching Japanese focus sentences to the world. I was like, oh my goodness.
Wonderful.
Brilliant.
It's spreading.
That's it.
Guys, we're just about out of time, so I'd like to ask you for your final thoughts as we go into the new year. What's your final thoughts, Valessa? What are your final thoughts or something you want to tell our viewers?
I would like to say that even though we talked about like our daily basis lives and sadness and depression and everything else, if you feel like that you cannot deal with alone, seek help.
Get help.
There are crisis centers, suicide prevention centers. You are not alone, and you don't need to be alone. So, look for help. And I think this is my final thought, because we have to think, and you have to self-care. And I would say, if you like it, practice mindfulness. Like a good way to deal with this kind of anxious situations, like is if you are in your room, take a deep breath and name things that you can see. For example, I can see my computer now. I can see the mouse. I can see the water bottle,
Just
the
focus,
door.
right?
Just focus
Yeah,
on the present.
See, what can you touch? What can you
Exactly.
smell?
Something that can make you be in the present.
Activate all of your senses, right?
Yeah.
Great.
That's great, Valessa. Well, maybe we'll say goodbye to you at this point. Wish you Happy New Year.
Me too. For you
And
too.
thank you very much for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with your masters.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll talk again soon, Valessa. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Happy New Year.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And how about you, Anesh? What's your final thoughts?
It's interesting.
For our viewers?
I was actually going to say exactly what Valessa was. If you don't know something, or you're unsure, or I don't, just ask for help is huge. Or I don't know if I should message that person, or just do it. It sounds cheesy, but asking for help is really huge. But because Valessa already said that, I would say practice daily gratitude. So when you wake up, write down, or before you go to bed even, what are you very thankful for? It could be my family, my teacher, for water, for coffee. Just write down when you're approaching your daily life with the mindset of having an attitude of gratitude, as I always like saying. Your day may not be perfect, but it'll start on the right foot. And then when you go to bed and you say, I'm thankful for my partner, my daughter, my family. I think practicing daily gratitude, which is what I do with all of my students, would be my advice to take into 2021.
That's fantastic. Great advice. My final thoughts are this, Anesh. I'm grateful for having met you this year, for having you share this show with me.
Thank you.
For learning about what you do in your education work, meeting some of your students. So I'd like to thank Rie, Hiroko, Emiko, Daiki, all of the students that you brought to the show. Thank you for joining us. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the fantastic viewers we've had since September from all these amazing countries. I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for having the chance to connect with them through this live show. Even if we do a show and there's not a lot of viewers, they're watching the recordings at a more convenient time, for example. So I'm very grateful for all of that. As for the coming year, my thoughts are this. We're not quite out of the pandemic yet. We have vaccines happening on the way, so it's amazing to have vaccines produced, manufactured, tested, and distributed within the year. We should all be grateful to our doctors and scientists and nurses for making that happen. But we're not out of that yet. We've got more of this to go. So we should all follow Valessa's advice, your advice, self-care. And I'm a big fan of setting goals. I've always got some project, some goal. So my goals this year are to continue helping students around the world improve their English, answer their questions, do what I can to make English a little less mysterious, a little less confusing, a little less scary, and helping them succeed in their life by developing and improving their English skill. I've got a lot of video projects on my table that I'm going to continue working on. And for that, for the viewers that watch my videos and watch this live show with you and others, I'm very grateful for that. And I would urge them to continue doing it, because if you're alone at home and you join this show, you're with us. We're making a community here. And for an hour or 2 hours every week, you're not alone. And I'm not alone. I get a lot of joy out of this because I spend a lot of time in the day alone, and I like that to some degree. But I love being connected to students and learners because I know that I'm able to help them. So I'm going to look forward to 2021. Keep working on these things. Keep hammering is my expression I like to say. Nice. Whatever your goal or your job or your project is, keep hammering on it day by day. Don't give up. We're going to come through this, as you and Valessa have said. But let's just keep persevering. Keep our feet on the gas, whatever expression you like, because we've got work to do. We've still got a ways to go. But let's just keep doing it. Let's just keep staying cool, right? My expression, stay cool, means take care of yourself, be calm, don't panic. You're not alone. We're in this together.
And on that note, saying we're in this together, I think, again, I'm very grateful for you for building this community. I mean, community is so important. And when you feel isolated and alone, I haven't spoken to Araceli from Mexico. She's a principal of an English school in Mexico, but I haven't reached out to her in a while, but we've reconnected. And so, building this community and how can we collaborate? How can we do things together? You can feel more connected and more energy and all of that. So building this community is great for everyone.
Yeah.
And like you said, even if they're not live, they can join it still and feel part of this atmosphere.
Yeah, it's been very, this is something that I started doing in September without a lot of planning ahead. It's not something I thought about doing, but since we've been doing it, it's like you said, we're just connecting at a time when we lack connection, when there's a lot of division out there. We're coming together with a common purpose, which is developing English skill. We all have that in common, but we're also sharing other things. We're sharing our views and our perspectives. So it's been really wonderful. And in 2021, we're going to keep doing this. So for those of you out there who have joined us tonight, thank you very much. The next show will be next week. I haven't decided the day yet. I'll have to announce that online starting on Monday, but no, that's tonight. So for all of you out there, from Anesh and myself, Happy New Year. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu if you're in Japan. Maybe we can bring Valessa on and say Happy New Year in Portuguese.
Sure. She's still there?
Yeah, Valessa? Okay, one moment. She packed up and thought she was out.
Oh.
Are you there, Valessa? Let's bring her on. Hi, Valessa.
Hi.
How do you say Happy New Year in Portuguese?
Feliz Ano Novo.
Feliz Ano Novo.
Feliz Ano Novo.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and the viewers around the world, thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Feliz Ano Novo.
I think that's Happy New Year. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Thanks, Paul.